Hello and welcome to another episode of Reseller Information Network. We are on show number 76. Hey guys,
I feel like I'm 76 right now.
Yeah, 76. We're getting older by the moment. We do want to apologize to you guys that we weren't around last week. We did not drop an episode. We have had a lot going on among the four of us, both business wise, personal wise, and every other thing kind of wise. But we were at the 100-mile yard sale this past weekend, a couple of us anyway, and we had some guys on the IR that had to sit on the sidelines, and we had some other things going on. We've actually got some big news that we're going to be bringing you soon. Some breaking news. Stick around; it'll come to you later in the show. But also, we did want to talk a little bit today about, throughout this episode, we're going to be talking about, hey, it's that time of year, right? It's that time of year where spring has sprung in some places and parts of the country, and these signs start popping up everywhere alongside the road. Garage sale season. Garage sale season is here. We want to talk to you a little bit about not just normal garage sales, but community sales, bigger highway sales, like opportunities that are out there for you to pick. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking a little bit more about those and try to give you some of our tips, tricks, things what to do, things what not to do, and try to help you out a little bit with that. The clue is don't go where we've been because we probably got it all. Just that's part of it. Don't follow Brandon 540 flips. You get less items.
Every yard sale that we went to, he was already there.
Yeah, he was there.
He picked up a pair of Red Wing motorcycle boots for like $8, bro.
Yeah, I think Brandon. They also got a 75-cent doll case that had a $400 doll in it. So there you go. Shout out Brandon 540 flips. Good job out there.
No shout out. He took all the good stuff. But shout out to Brandon because he bought my autographed famous pirate hat that I wore yard selling all day. And it was pretty funny.
Nice. All right, so we do want to get into some comments. Now, these comments are a little older because, like I said, we pretty much took the week off. Tim put out a video about shipping some large items. We got to see that up close and personal this past weekend of not just large items, but lots of glass items. The Busy Octopus says, thanks for the video, Tim. RIN is always entertaining. Before I started eBay, I read eBay for Dummies. The best advice I took from that book was to have the item basically packed and ready to ship before you even list it. You then have the box, the packing material, the measurements, and weight. When you list it, I will sometimes scenario it with a faraway zip code to see how much shipping might cost to go flat or calculated. It is so satisfying just to tape, label, and ship. That's my 2 cents. Thanks for reading. We talked a little bit about the benefits of prepacking and the benefits of not prepacking in that last episode. If you haven't saw that, go back and look where we were talking about shipping items. Joe Deals left a novel here. I'm not going to read all of it because he actually told me not to. He said, I'm long-winded. You don't need to read me. And then he's rattling off in the long. But basically, he was talking a little bit about how to pack using bubble wrap, shrink wrap, all those kind of things. And then he leaves a shorter comment down below where it says, Nest are best. Please advise everyone to not use packing peanuts because Joe Deal strongly dislikes them. And they shift and usually not are environmentally friendly. Litter your work area with those darn foamness. The devil's foam is what he said. So there you go. You heard it from Joe Deals. Don't use packing peanuts. Doing it wrong says Tim. Never buy these vases again. Sell them as a single instead. Finding boxes becomes 10 times easier. They'll ship just like lamps. I don't ship lamps, so that would be something beyond me. We do thank you guys for coming by. ASCAT left a much shorter comment. I noticed you didn't void fill the vases. Is it important to do it with a smaller item? There's a question for you, Tim. And Michaela Cabenny Rain. All right. Great show. Thanks, Michaela, for coming by. Appreciate you. All right, guys. So let's jump into a little bit of garage sale goodness.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, garage sales, yard sales are my favorite. I like estate sales. Oftentimes you have to take the gloves off at estate sales though, because there's so many people competing for the same thing, people standing in line. But garage sales, so let's start out with the basic garage sales. All right, here's a question for you: how do you find garage sales in your area where you live? Like, what's some tips that you guys do?
Okay. I use Craigslist most of the time. Facebook Marketplace stinks where I live for yard sales. I use Craigslist most of the time. I think that is still a good thing. And I think it's important to set up scouts, right? Like my mom, shout out to Ma Dukes. She said to say hi to you guys, by the way. She texted me right before we went live or started recording. She has people that send her like yard sales. But like you can use yardsales.net is also another good one. And if you are in like next door, like the next door app, a lot of people post their yard sales in next door app. So that's a good one to get like local stuff. And then I use the app. I was using the garage sale something app, but it disappeared. It went gone.
Treasure Map. You're using Treasure Map at one point, right?
Was I? No, I wasn't using Treasure Map.
Treasure Map's Craigslist goes over.
Yard sale Treasure Map still works. I was using this other one called GSMR or something like that. Garage sale map something. But it went dead. So now I'm using Yard Sale Treasure Map.
GSALR.com is what the one.
So I personally use a site called Garage Sale Nation. A good friend of mine, Kevin. Shout out to Kevin. Garage Sale Nation is where you should look for all of your long yard sales, but you never know. Somebody might put something in there that you might notice that's close, and it's not like one of those long yard sales. So please put stuff on Garage Sale Nation and check out Garage Sale Nation. Free advertisement.
Sarnak, what are you using?
I use a lot of Facebook Marketplace. Around our area, a lot of people post on Facebook. Not as much as on Craigslist. The Nextdoor app, it's sporadic on there. So I find most of my stuff on Facebook, or I have a little pathway I drive. I'll usually go down there. Usually when I'm like dropping off the boys to school on a Friday, I'll go down. Instead of going on the highway, I'll take like the road going all the way south that kind of mirrors the highway, and that's where I'll look for the signs. Because here's the thing. Here's what I hate. Okay, y'all already know I'm spoiled. I am not gonna go pick out 5, 6, 8 different places on Facebook Marketplace and go, okay, well, I'm gonna go here and then here and then here and drive all over the place. I'm not doing that. No. Okay. It might be a little bit different if they had them on Sundays or something like that when everything else is closed, but no, because I can go other places and still win. But if I'm driving down a spot, that's what I like. If I'm driving from point A to point B and I can stop here, stop here, stop here. That's why I like, that's why we always talk about the long, like the 100-mile yard sale that I got, had to miss this year. But I like that where it's like, stop, not driving, looking around, driving, 10 more minutes to get to one place and then going, oh, that's it. They have a huge community
multi-family. Yeah.
15 family, and giant, huge. And then it's like a table of stuff. And it's like, okay, thanks. I drove all the way out here for this because here's the thing: out here, there's city and then there's rural. So you might be there might be like, hey, there's something in Hedgesville, West Virginia, which I'm right here. I have a Martinsburg address, but I can go out here and be in Hedgesville. But here's the problem: some of these Hedgesville addresses, bro, it's like 25 minutes away out in the country, back roads type stuff. So it's like you go all the way out there, then it's like you know, and you don't have anything to show for it, then it's kind of like, So like I said, you know, I'll look at Facebook and if they've got some things that I can see that I might go. But usually it's just I head down my you know, normal spots and see if there's anything going on, and I'll stop and, you know, but again, I'll go to my honey hole any day over garage sales.
Yeah, the real story is, sorry, I was trying to just give Kevin a plug. But he's told exactly. I call it, I have a loop-de-loo, and I don't normally do yard sales anyway, but I'll do a couple times a year. I know the side, and I'll just go like 20 miles this way and then take a left and go 20 miles that way. And they're active roads. They're not freeways, they're active roads, and I just chase signs. That's what I really like to do. I've done that for years back home. You know, just chase signs and make a day out of it. Go get lunch, and if you find some, you find some. If you don't, you don't. It's not a big deal. You know, you see one, you get excited more that you see one, that you found it and you got to it than you do if you have it on your Google Maps, and like Cernox said, you go there and it's just all toys and pink stuff, which is going to be my new venture.
There you go. All right. So I'm going to tell you what I do. I'm going to tell you what you should do. What I do is I live in a place where you talk about a loop. All we have is a road. So when I leave my house, when I hit the intersection, I can see if there's any yard sales in the community that's next to me, because all those signs will be sitting right there.
Yeah.
Then I leave and I go up the beach. And on the beach, 99% of every sale is going to be on the left-hand side of the road when you're going up, because that's where all the locals live. The locals don't live on the beach side. They live on the sound side. So you can roll through like that and just sign hunt. Now, Facebook Marketplace, I do go on there and check, because unfortunately what happens to me often, this yard sale starts at 8, this yard sale starts at 10, this one starts at 9, this one starts at 7, and they're never in line, right? So when I leave my house, I've got decisions to make. Do I go here first? This yard sale starts at 8. All right, and then I got to wait. This one over here starts at 7, but it's halfway up the beach. Like, I got to figure that out. So at that point, it's kind of a guesswork. What you should do, if you live in an area where you need to be able to map it out, you probably do need to get some kind of mapping situation that you put in, because if you're in the city, or if you're in where there's a lot of neighborhoods, I know I went picking with Dave when he was still the NC picker living in NC. And when I went picking with him, dude, he had it nailed. Like, okay, we're going to this. He had it all plugged in. This is when this one starts. And he had a whole loop going. Like, for me, that's foreign, because I'm one road. It's up and back. If you didn't hit it on the way up, you hit it on the way back. That's how I do it. The other thing I would tell you, just a little tip for me using Facebook that I've learned as of recent, you can actually search yard sales by the time posted. That'll save you a lot of headache right there. So what I do is typically on Thursday or Friday, I'll see time posted. Like if it posts after the weekend, like Monday, then I know that sales for this week. If you just go in there and type yard sales, bro, you'll have things in there for 2 years ago. Be sitting in there and you're like, and I've drove to those sales. Like, I've drove out to those sales and I'm like, this yard sale's been there forever. And sign chasing, occasionally you get those folks that leave their signs out. Like, just make a mental note. Like, hey, that sign's been there for 2 months now. I think they're not having a yard sale every week. But if I go elsewhere, I do that. And a thing that you don't really hear as much about anymore, if you have a local paper, man, if there's an ad for a yard sale in a local paper, you definitely want to go to that one.
Yes.
Because those guys ain't putting that online. They're just hoping somebody sees the sign side of the road. They got the local paper.
But that's that old school way. And you know what I'm saying? You know, if you see a yard sale ad in the paper,
Yeah, that's where you find this kind of stuff.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yep.
Like, you want to do that. So we talked a little bit about, okay, so how do we find them? How do we find them? Okay, so for me, going to a yard sale, we all have completely different ways. I've picked with every one of these guys on multiple occasions. We all have obviously different things that we're looking for, but different strategies that we use. And like, honestly, we got to hit the gas yard sales. We've all got some mental things that we do. So guys, when you get to the sale, when you roll up, like what's the mode of attack? Like what are you looking at? Where are you headed? We'll go Leroy. He's like, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. He's looking to unmute his mic, and then that's the first thing he'll do, and then he'll get out there.
I'm always looking for towards the back. Usually what I want is never in the front of a yard sale. It's always towards the back. So I'm looking for boxes, toolboxes. I'm looking for metal. I'm listening for metal. My ears, I can't hear you tell me on the other side of the room something, but a bucket of or shift through a bucket of sockets, because I am hearing that. You should hear me at the flea market sometimes. My ears are like, I'm like, stop, because I just hear them. I can hear somebody like rippling through it. It just goes through my head. So I listen for metal. Listening for metal is big for me.
Hey, so if you want to get Leroy to do a little running around, just clank a little metal. You'll get him coming.
Right.
Headed your way. Sarnak, what are you doing?
Well, I'm going with I'm looking for clothing first. You know what I'm saying? I always like to look at the clothing first. I shoot straight for that. Clothing, shoes, boots, hats. You know, I'm feeling around it again. I'm listening as well. You know, when I go to right after the jump, I'm already listening to if there's someone else there talking with the homeowner or whatever. I'm already listening to see what kind of prices, see what kind of mood it is. You know, like, hey, everyone's like, oh, it's a great day, it's sunny, or it's like, oh, the wife made me drag all this stuff out. You know, like, or so just kind of feeling the whole sense. But yeah, looking at that first. And then if I'm not finding the stuff I'm looking for, then I start going, okay, is there anything else that's not in my wheelhouse or on the outskirts of my wheelhouse that I know that I can look for, and that's where I start looking at some of the things, because I always like to look for the things I don't have to come first. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's what I like doing. That's if I'm hey, paramilitary, hey, what you got on these boots right here? $2. Cool. I'm not going to sit there and go, okay, well, let me make sure that these are, like cool, Vibram Soul, they got the, where I know stuff, or the Gore-Tex or something, like, boom, I'm not comping that, but then, if I'm not finding that stuff, then I'll start looking for the oddball stuff. Like what's out here that might be just a diamond in the rough that they may not know about that. Oh, wait, this is worth something, and looking for old soaps and stuff, or old weird stuff that not everyone's gonna be like, ooh, or not where I think a lot of people are at garage sales now are getting a little keen, where when they do the garage sale, they're knowing certain stuff is like you see a pair of Jordans at a garage sale, just on the table, there might be oh, well, we paid $130 for those. And, so they know the value of that because they've heard shoes and Jordans and all that stuff. But I look for the complete opposite of that, where they go, oh, that thing, that's a piece of junk. Okay, that's what I want then. So that's kind of my, the way I approach the yard sale.
Tim?
Well, being a professional YouTuber, I generally just walk up and say, how much for your entire yard sale? That's what I do. Nah,
Like
for
20
me,
bucks.
I bought it
Yeah.
all.
$20. I got all I got. The one trick I've been using is all I got is $20 cash left. You know, keep all my other bills in another pocket. No, but I obviously I gravitate towards the colored glass first. Anything, because for me it's like it depends on the time of day. So like if you're the first person there, like I have to go with what my eye catches first, right? Because I want to get that stuff before somebody else gets out the car and sees it. Okay. If it's later in the day, I do a lot more lifting up boxes underneath the table, like seeing what was left behind. But obviously I look for colored glass first and foremost. And then after that, I generally will gravitate towards hats, clothing piles, boots. Shout out Cernox Connection. He put me on to this thing called Boots. And then I'll do look at like sports, if there's any sports cards. I try not to go to sports cards first because sports cards, like browsing through a box of sports cards, can be so tedious. And so like I generally don't like to go to that first unless I obviously notice that there's nothing else there. And then I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, like if I saw a box of video games, I might look at it, but that's 90% of the time, if there's a box of video games sitting on a table, they're all sports games. Or they're Hannah Montana, Dance Dance Revolution, brain quiz for DS, you know, like that sort of stuff. My horse's horse, of course. You know, like you don't ever find like I don't. I mean, it's apparently there's people out here that just walk up to a yard sale and there's a box of Super Mario, Nintendo 64 games and stuff like that, you know, but like that sort of stuff doesn't happen around here. So yeah, that's generally where I go. I mean, I don't really have like because I sell everything, and a lot of times now it's like the other thing is too is I've gotten so much better at sourcing. I'm not buying something because I'm at a yard sale and I have to buy something because I'm at a yard sale. I'm perfectly okay with going to a yard sale and walking away with nothing instead of paying $20 for 4 pieces of junk that's never going to sell. And if it does sell, I make $3 profit. That's not what I'm about. So I think that's something that's important too is, you know, don't feel like you have to buy something because you're at a yard sale. Like, or because it's only 25 cents. Sometimes something's only 25 cents for a reason. Okay. Like, don't buy it just because it's cheap. And, you know, it's 25 cents. I can sell it for $15. Don't do that. Don't be that. Don't be that person. It's not worth your time. Be better. Walk away from the yard sale empty handed is okay. But that's me personally.
Yeah. So for me, going to yard sales, obviously, usually here, if I'm picking local, I mean, if we have 10 yard sales, that's an awesome day. Like a lot of times you'll have 3, 4, 5. So if I have 3, 4, 5, I'm obviously I actually would drive back to yard sales at times because, like I said, I'm going up, then I'm coming back. So sometimes I'll speed pick the first ones, like, you know, basically just go through them, and then on the way home I'll come back and dig a little bit more than what I did the first time around, because obviously prices go down, that kind of thing. But if it's competitive, like there's several pickers that live here. They all know me. Like it's one of those things. So sometimes I'm like, dude, you're picking this. Like they'll send me pictures and say, hey, I got this. This is great. I was like, yeah, it is. Where'd you get that? but we I know guys too that will call me things that they don't pick. They're like, hey, you know, at 3rd Street up here, they got a bunch of hats if you want to come up here, like that kind of thing. So I do have that little bit of advantage, but I just tell you, like on the norm, going to a garage sale, I'm looking immediately for oddball stuff that shouldn't be there, or things that just don't fit. You know, like if you roll up to a yard sale and a guy's got a huge train collection out there, I tell you what, I'm probably not buying is that train stuff. I'm going over here and this guy's got, you know, like you said, he's got a pair of boots that he don't care anything about. He just getting rid of, or he's got, you know, maybe there's something else there that he just picked up on a whim. Like if you looked at the back of my car coming from these yard sales, there are things that I have, like I have hats naturally, and it's not that hats are awesome anymore. Like they're awesome to me, so I like messing with them, but like they're not bringing the money they used to. But I also, like, this time I picked up cast iron stuff. Like I don't mess with that stuff. Like that's not a normal go to. But like if you go there and the guy's like, hey, I've got these log holders for $20. Well, I'm not leaving them there because they're worth $100 and some. Like I'm not leaving that. So for me, I do gravitate to the odd, to be honest, because for a few reasons. One, I think that's something that's more than likely is less comped. Like if I don't know what it is, they probably don't know what it is either. Like it's one of those things, and you're kind of looking for something oddball. And then obviously things that I do sell, like now I do, much like all of us, we know a little bit more about boots. Like we've hung around Surnock long enough to know that I can literally now I can go down a clothing rack of t-shirts and feel and know this is older, this is not, and then take a look at it. So to see what's there, I do that. I used to, when I first started, man, anything new in the package, I'm at least taking a look at, because I'll be honest, it takes 5 seconds to barcode that thing.
That's so true. That's a good point too.
Yeah, like barcode that thing, man. 5 seconds, you know whether it's good or it's not. Like
Yes.
it's not.
Yes.
That's worthwhile, because like sometimes I've found stuff that I didn't know about. The other day, in fact, I was at a yard sale by myself on the way home, and there was a lady there that was hovering over this stuff. And I heard the lady said, yeah, those things are expensive. Like they were $120. I'm looking at them. She's got $20 on it. I said, well, she's got like 3 of them there. Let me take a look at it. They really only sold for like $60, but those are kind of things that I was like, I wouldn't just take her word that it's $120. I want to take a peek myself and see what it's really selling for. So those are things I gravitate towards. Like if it's new, I have started looking at more media, like records and stuff. They're making a comeback, cassettes, things like that. I will take a look at those kind of things if they're out there, because usually they're cheap. But those, for me, that's kind of a gravitation moment. But all right. Well, before we get much further in, I'm going to put Tim on the spot and go ahead and recognize our channel members, because we didn't talk about them at the beginning, but we do appreciate you guys so much. So we're going to pause for a brief commercial break, thanking our channel members, and we'll turn it over to our resident MC.
Wait, is there like a commercial, like a recording?
Yes, you're in it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this commercial is going to be brought to you by Reseller Information Network, and the mouth of this advertisement is going to be Tim. Take it away, Tim.
Big thank you to our channel members: AZ Katsu, Simply Shenanigans Shanna, Diane Matthews, our very own Blood, Sweat, and Cell, Trash Cat Rescue, New England, Betty Boop, Joe Deals, Old School Picker, Vintage Sport Flips, Charities Terrific Finds, Kathleen, the Fernway Flipper, Ohio Pickers, Annette and Frank, Rudely Retro, Absolute Finds, Des Hardy, Heather Bedler, James Steinbreaker, Old Pass, High Plains Flipper, Sir Walter Tilton, Black Sheep Society, Death Pile Picker, Mark Rowland, Tracer J's Trading, Aaron Vaughn, Central Iowa Picker, Wiggle Room 9, Buck Mountain Barn, Pinjo Picker, and Trash to Cash Podcast. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your love and support.
Back to you, Eric.
Let me tell you, it goes by so much slower when I don't do the starting lineup part.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, so in continuing in our topic about garage sales, So, what do you guys see that is so different going to the longer yards? Well, let's stage this thing out. Community sales, regular yard sales, long yard sales. Like, what do you guys see like pros and cons of each one of those? Like,
Well, I'll start this. Community sales, okay, first and foremost. Like, it depends on the community, right?
Yeah.
Because
Pretty
I
antique.
personally, I do really bad at community yard sales. If it's like a what do they call those like Pleasantville places?
Townhouses. and
Subdivision.
Subdivisions.
Yeah, that stuff is horrible for me. I've had really bad, not I don't want to say this, not bad experience, but it's not like I just crushed it sort of mood, right? But if it's a community sale like in a neighborhood and it's like house after house after house, like that is awesome, right? But if it's like a community where it's like all these like new houses or subdivisions or townhouses, I'd stay away from those, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, like, because you guys hear me talk about this all the time, like, volume is king when it comes to picking, right? But I don't want to spend 2 hours in a community yard sale and 75% of it is pink home goods, Amazon pallet throw ups, or like, like that sort of kids stuff, like, like where you just walk up and it's like toddler piles of toddler clothes. Like, it's a waste of time, and time is money when it comes to picking. Like, you got to be like on Friday, I was a day short and day late and $1 short at a lot of those yard sales. So like for me, like that's one thing I stay away from. I prefer. So what was the other one? Like you said, regular yard sales.
Regular yard sale.
I try to a lot of that to go back in the beginning is like a lot of it's mapping out like, and I try to read descriptions too. Because like the descriptions are super important. Like, like some of them can be misleading for sure. Pictures. I love finding yard sales that have pictures the night before, like that, or that just makes things a lot easier the day of. Long yard sale crawls are for me are the best because it's volume and you get a mixture of everything. Generally, you get a mixture of flea market style setups. You get a mixture of home yard sales. You get a mixture of community sales. You get a mixture of church sales. So it's like the best of all the best, all in one. And it's a lot longer and a lot more to pick from. Sometimes, yeah, there'll be more people there, but like you could still find a lot of cool stuff. So I mean, like that for me is how I like things. Like I will pick a church sale. Like if I'm going and I'm mapping on my day, I'll pick a church sale over a regular yard sale any day of the week. Because 9 times out of 10, church sales are going to be priced super cheap. And it's important to keep an idea, keep a log of yard sales too sometimes. Because like if you know that this yard sale is like, or this church sale was good last time, it's important to make sure that you're there for the next one, right? Preparing a little bit. And then sometimes it's like, you don't want to go to the same yard sale that was like a month ago or the same yard sale that was like last summer and it's the same crap. And then like you wasted time. So like that's how I kind of am when it comes to like that sort of stuff. But like I wish I could go to more like long yard sales. Like I don't really get to go to much. I was thinking about going to the 301, but like I'm kind of busy that weekend. But like I generally go to only 3 right now. The 127, the 100 mile, and then the one that me and Sornak go to. You know what I'm saying? And like I do really well at those. Like, like so that's kind of where I'm at with those like subcategories of yard sales. And obviously I love a damn good flea market.
Sornak, where you at?
So it's tough for me because there's certain things I like and there's certain things I don't like. Now listen, like I agree with the new home development yard sales. Yeah. Whenever they're in that, I find that the stuff that I look for, you don't find. You find more newer stuff. You find more kids stuff, young family stuff, and that's okay. That's cool. Everyone's got thing. I like to hit up the older neighborhoods. When I see there's a community yard sale like in an old neighborhood, that's where I start getting excited. Where old grandmother's like got her stuff out there and like you ask some questions. Oh, I got a bunch of old jackets in the closet. Like something like that. Where you can explore a little bit more because they have stuff stowed away. Because I've been in basements for some of these newer homes, and it's like you go in the basement, it's like 3 boxes in the corner, and that's it. Where like the older homes, you go in, it's like, whoa, we've been in those estate sales where the entire basement's like, So those are things I like. Now with individual yard sales, it's got to be. Again, like I said, I'm not driving around here to here to here to here. So if there's something like, on my little route and I see from the side of the road, I'll stop, and look. I do really like, the church sales. I do like those. And another thing that kind of like with the church sales that we have out here, we have a lot of times our like Musselman girls volleyball team will have a yard sale. So you'll have an entire field and everyone brings their stuff. And it's like, okay, this is cool because there's a lot of stuff to look at. So I've hit good at those places. And then, going on the long, yard crawls, the Route 11 yard crawl, this year, without any kind of craziness coming up again, probably going to go on that one, because again, it's like boom, boom, boom. But see here, I'm going to go probably on Friday because Saturday it's too busy. It's too packed. So go on Friday and then come back. So yeah, that's how I kind of see it. That's how I kind of rank them.
Leroy?
Oh man. All right, let's see. Where do I start with this one? I feel like you guys are right and you guys are wrong. I feel like there's with these so where I live, there's like a new community yard sale, a new community development being made every half a mile. And when they have their sales, the first or second sale that they have of that whole development, those sales are good because they moved from another house. They decided that the stuff they really thought they were going to need, they don't need anymore. And they want to look like they fit in with the community. So they do put stuff out there. And a lot of them are snowbirds and they're moving from the north. So they'll bring as much as they can. Then they're going through their boxes once they open them at the new house and they realize, you know what, I really don't need all of this stuff. I just took it because of an emotional attachment. So watch out for that. When you like Eric said and like Tim said, when like keep a note of stuff like, and I told you guys last time, like go to these developers. You see a new development, ask who's the head of HOA and ask them when's the yard sale. Like you'll have that heads up. It's only a phone call or a text message or something. Just say, hey, when, or are you guys considering having a yard sale? Then you're putting your foot in the door. So I don't do them a lot. I think that the route sales, honestly, are probably the best bet. I do like the route sales. My guys don't let me shop long enough, and I don't have enough money. But I mean, besides that, if I had a lot of money and I had free reign where my buddies would let me look at stuff, then I would do excellent. But the other part of it is being with people, and now so when I go to yard sales with those guys, it's not one eye looking at everything, it's 14. So I'm a specialist, so I get phone calls, and we all do now. We'll be at sales and people will call us, hey, where are you? There's boots here. Hey, where are you? There's golf clubs here. You know what I mean? So that's the cool part, is you have other people looking for you. But use your own judgment. I do have I was looking through my dad jokes while I'm supposed to be paying attention to the show, and I found the best one.
eBay is so useless. I tried to look up lighters, and all they had was 13,759 matches. That is absolutely hilarious.
eBay, we still love you though. We
love you.
don't mind if we ching all day. It's not a problem.
Can you put the disclaimer up, please?
Yeah.
But no, that's pretty much where what I think about the big sales and stuff.
All right, we'll get pros and cons. Regular garage sale is where I live. There's not enough of them. That's a con. They obviously, if you only have a few, you gotta take advantage of what's there. The good thing is typically if it's a one-off garage sale, they are cleaning out and they don't want to put it back in their house like most people. If it's one-off garage sale. Community garage sales, I know we've all seen this. There is pros and cons, just like these guys have already said. Typically, newer subdivision is all home good type stuff. You can get some electronics. Sometimes you can get some clothing. Not as much. If so, it'd be more modern. Most everything is going to be more modern, unless somebody has a collection. But one of the problems if people have annual community sales, Leroy kind of touched on it a bit. If they have that same sale every year, like I've literally seen boxes that said yard sale, meaning I put it out last year, I'm going to put it out again this year and next year and next year and next year. So for me, community yard sale is all about speed. You crank through it as fast as you can because there's tons of people in the way. Like somebody was with me the other day at those sales. I said, bro, I don't stick around at those. Like I got to get in and get out and get down the road because like there's more. It's really about getting through it for me. The long yard sales, I will say this: long yard sales are my favorite in the sense of like these guys have said. There's a lot of stuff out there. I would say one of the downfalls now, there's also a lot of competition. There's a lot of folks out there that are looking for what you're looking for. So you do have to hone your skills a little bit. And obviously prices change. Like I know there's numerous times for me that I've set up the next guy, to be honest, because I basically just told this guy, you're never going to get this much money for this item. And he would never let me buy it. But then I hear somebody else that came through and got that, and I paid $5. And sometimes I've been that guy that came back and I was the second guy there. And the guy realized, hey, I've told this price to 10 people, and now number 11 is going to get the deal because it's finally got through my brain that it's cheaper than what I'm not going to get what I want to get for it. So I definitely think that those are some pros and cons to each one of those. If I had to put them just from the volume standpoint, and also for me, long yard sales are a little different thing because typically I am with friends. So we do look out for each other, and it's hanging out and the stories that we have along the way as much as it is the picks. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm always looking to pay my way. I said, if I'm going to take 3 to 4 days off, then I got to make that money. So I'm going to do that while I'm out there. But yeah, I mean, if I could do a long yard sale at least once a month, I'd be stoked.
Here, I want to add something about the long yard sales. The only thing about the long yard sales to kind of watch out for are the professional garage sailors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That when they set up, you know, they're doing this all the time. They're setting up all the time.
The flea market yard sellers.
Yeah, the flea market type guys, you know, out
antique
there.
Dealer guys.
Those are the guys that you may not get the best deal, or they're not going to haggle with you, you know, on that. So just realize that what you need to do is just realize those guys are out there. And again, listen to what's going on around you. Because again, at those long yard sales, sometimes the best thing on your side is time. Yeah. Okay. So if you're stuck there going, oh, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. But then at the end, you can't buy anything because it's too much. Then you've wasted all that time to where maybe you could be going down the road or, looking at something else before someone else gets to look at it. Because when OBX said there is more competition out there, like when I already know for the Route 11 yard crawl out here in Virginia, there's already 5 or 6 people I know going down there that are all going to be out there. So it's like, well, don't mess around. Or it's one thing too. It's like you see one, there's one guy. If I see him out there, I'm driving ahead of him. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's all those things. So just be on the lookout for that when you go to those long yard sales, because you don't want to waste time at some of those people's booths or setups. So I just want to add that.
For sure. I do think, like when you get into picking in general, and if you're going to garage sales, I mean, to be honest, guys, like it's a great way to hone your skills in negotiating. Even if the guys say no, like get a little banter, know that you're not always going to get the price you want. And then at that point, you're doing calculations in your brain. Like, is there a meat on the bone? Is this something I've bought stuff. Now this is almost sacrilegious, right? Like for me to pay up for stuff, it hurts my heart, to be honest, to do it. But I have done it at times. I have paid up because honestly, I just liked the item. I thought it was cool. It's something I don't see that often, or I think if we're out there and you're seeing something like, dude, I've never seen that. Like, all right, I don't see this one all the time. And a lot of times those items will pay off for you if they're that. Mm-hmm. Like if I send a picture to Cernock, he says, I've never seen that hat before, dude, I'm picking that hat up. I'll just tell you. Like if I send something to Tim, he's like, that's super rare. Like you got to pick it up. If Leroy, I just put him dead on the speakerphone and put him in my pocket and negotiate deals. Like that's what we do when we're out there. Oh my gosh. Look at that.
Ooh.
Big logo, UNC.
Where'd you pick that up from? This weekend?
Yard. Yeah.
What? Oh, yeah, that's got the right on it. Number 2. Yeah, number 2 again. Yeah, it's got the right stuff on it. I've had that hat a few times.
I thought this one was cool. I don't even know where this place is.
Oh, you don't know Kowloon?
No.
I don't either. I don't know no Kowloon. Let me look it up. Kowloon.
I didn't buy a lot of hats.
Where did you see those hats at?
Well, I got the North Carolina one from Mike. But the Dukes
hey, Kowloon's in Hong Kong.
Oh, the Dukes I got at that inside sale that was down the gravel road, and it was 2 dudes sitting inside with big beards.
Nice.
Nice.
Mike, Death Pile Picker, bro. Who's the only Carolina fan on this panel, man? Like, what are you doing? Love you, Mike. Oh, man. All right. Well, before we get out of here, we do have some breaking news that we alluded to before. And Leroy, you want me to talk about it? You want to talk about it?
You could talk about it. I can't talk about it.
All right. We're going to go ahead and do it.
It's hard to fist pump in that song.
I know.
but I saw Leroy fist pumping.
Yeah, so he's pumping it. He's stoked. So, guys, what we did want to talk about just briefly is, and he's not excited about it. I know this is super hard for him and for us. Leroy's not dying of anything that we know of. He's not of
hunger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's done ate half a bag of chips or something while we've been doing the show. But we do. Leroy's had some stuff happen within his life and his business life. with like just warehouse difficulties and some things. So he's going to have to take some time away from the show the next couple months. We're not letting him leave. He will be around, but he won't be consistent. Being on the show, he's going to have to take some time away from that. So, guys, if you get a chance, shoot Leroy a message of encouragement during this time. And we are obviously it's hard when you are with somebody all the time and they have to take some time away. Much like my friend, old school picker is taking a step back from things. Sometimes life happens and we have to make decisions. So we're gonna miss Leroy over the next couple of months, but we're praying that he will be back before the Highway 127 is the plan. So
there's no room. We didn't break up. We didn't the 100th episode. It's not. Please, whatever you hear that riff off, it's not. They didn't kick me off. It's none of that. There's just life is getting more confusing and complicated for me. And trying to do the show and have a positive attitude. I'll be straight honest with you guys. My attitude's been piss poor and horrible, miserable. And I don't think it's fair to you guys or the guys on this panel for me to keep acting like a big baby when I can do it on my own. So I'm going to get rid of what I need to get rid of, put my big boy pants on, and you guys will see me soon. And like I said, I don't know when. It's going to be a while till I come around mentally. So if you don't see me, it has nothing to do with me not coming in the show. I might come under a different alias. You never know. So thanks, guys, and take care of these guys. Don't give them a hard time for me. And if they give you a hard time, just message me and I won't get back to you.
Man. Yeah, we're gonna miss Leroy.
Don't worry, Leroy. Even if you're not here, right? Even if you're not here, I have made it so that Leroy will always be here. There he is, right up there.
Leroy's in the corner.
There he is.
So on this show, we're very honest. So we just wanted to let you guys know before you guys start stupid ones.
So there you have it. Hey, we do appreciate, obviously, we appreciate Leroy being around. And we're looking forward to him coming back and being a part. We're not replacing him. We're not taking applications. We're not wanting anybody to come on with us. But we're just going to hold our spot with our screenshot Leroy until he gets back. So we'll be doing that. And, I do want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching and for being a part. If you're interested in joining the channel membership, that is available. If you want to be a part of the one-stop shop, stay tuned. We do have some exciting stuff starting with that. I know we've talked about that. We've kind of kicked it around, but we're going to start moving in that direction as well. So if you haven't joined the one-stop shop, you can come on over there. Right now, there is actually some great deals for wholesale over there. I know there's this guy still got a couple of jean bundles on there. I've got some Harley Davidson keychain, like a whole bunch of those things over there. So you guys can come on by and do some shopping at the one-stop shop. Or if you're interested in selling, want to be a part of that, then let us know on that front as well. We'll let Leroy, you've already kind of said goodbye, but we'll let you give one more.
Guys, take care and stay out of trouble. And don't forget, sell it low and let it go. Out.
We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon, Leroy. We'll see you soon. Okay. Thank you for everyone for like comments and everything like that. Hey, big shout out to everyone that went down to the 100-mile yard sale. Sorry that I missed it this year. The first time missing it. Just some things came up out of my control, but we're handling those things. So everything's all good. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
All right, Tim.
Well, I gotta give a big shout out to Leroy and Cernock for not being there because I picked up some boots and a socket set. Thank God. So shout out to those guys for allowing me to partake in their treasures that they have taught me so much about. But yeah, we love you guys. We're always gonna party. Leroy's not going anywhere. He's just not, his face just won't move. But he'll be up there in the corner, and he'll be with us in spirit and in heart. And we can always talk to him on the messages. That's why I love that guy. But big shout out to all of the channel members, everybody who's subscribed to the channel. We appreciate all the love and all the support. Most importantly, don't forget to tell a friend about RIN Reseller Information